Our next guest is arguably the youngest presidential aspirant, a former presidential candidate of the People's Coalition Party, PCP, in the 2019 presidential election. He's now one of those aiming to clinch the presidential ticket of the APC. We're joined by Dr. Nicholas Felix on the program tonight. It's good to have you.
Thank you for having me.
You know, you're considered by some newcomer, a new face in politics, and you'll understand why for those people. So let me ask you, if you can, in 2-3 sentences, who is Nicholas Felix?
Once again, thank you for having me tonight. Nicholas Felix, I'm a Nigeria-born citizen. I'm a pastor, a father, and a successful businessman.
So how or why, with all of this that you have mentioned, why are you trying to be president? What do you have that other candidates, or at least those vying for it, don't have?
Yeah, actually, I got into the political arena because of an insult. I've said that severally. Politics was not one thing I dreamt of doing. But January 2018, a black American insulted a Nigerian right in my front. And I couldn't sleep that night. It felt like, is it a cause to be a Nigerian? That night, I was really troubled. I said to myself, no more complaint, I need to throw my heart in the race. That's why I came in the first place. Now, as you know, Nigerians are yearning for youth. Nigeria needs, they're yearning, they're crying for somebody new. And apparently, I'm the youngest person and the only person among both bigger parties who hasn't had any office. This is what Nigeria needs at this time. So I'm trusting that come May 30th, the delegates in the APC will do the right thing and yield to the bid of Nigerians.
All right. So, I mean, that's still some distance, but let's still stay on your candidacy as a person. You spent at least a substantial part of your adult life outside of the country, close to 20 years, I imagine now. Yeah. And there'll be questions as to how someone who is outside the country in the United States, who, I mean, naturally, you're not here. You don't at least feel what Nigerians are feeling. You can't say firsthand. There will be questions as to the propriety of you now trying to come and fix the Nigerian situation.
Yeah, that's a good one. I've spent, I lived 22 years in Nigeria before going to America, and I lived 18 years in America. I see my going to America as going there to study. I've lived in a system that worked. I've lived in a system that is secured, where there's no power failure, where the economy works. So that system is what I'm bringing now to Nigeria. Apparently, our leaders are still used to what is not working here. It has become a norm. So for somebody like me coming from a system that works, that's what I'm bringing. I see myself going to America. I've gone to study. I've learned the system is in me. And that's what I'm bringing now that is quite different from every other candidate or aspirant in the race.
But the American system is different from the Nigerian system.
But
the American challenges are far away from the Nigerian challenge, the Nigerian reality. So how are you going to marry that? That's a big one.
But I think that's what we want to be like. Every nation, we are copying what is right. America is already a developed nation. What other nation is there to copy from other than this developed nation? You talk about a police system. It's quite different from the way it is done here. If what we have is not working, we have to learn from them. And that's why today you see even companies, private companies, they send their staff abroad to London, to Canada. Why are they sending them there? They're sending them to go and learn what is working. If the system we have is not working, I'm quite sure we should learn from them. That's why our politicians go there for medical treatment. That's why they go there for tourism. If the system there is not working, I'm sure they will not be going there. If they go there to get help for their personal self, if they send their children to school abroad, right, it means something is working there and they like it. That's why they're going there.
You're a U.S. citizen, am I right?
Yes.
Do you pay your taxes in Nigeria?
I've not paid tax because I have not much going on here in Nigeria.
Do you have a political structure here?
Yes. I came third in the last 2019 election. You know, some of us have not had a platform maybe on, wide on TV, but we've been doing some groundwork. We go from street to street. We have people who we talk to who, do the groundwork for us. So we have, it may not be as solid as some of these political gladiators, but we have some structures here.
You know that about you coming third,
yes.
If you look at that ballot sheet, and this is something that has been explained, if you could just take a look at the ballot sheet, your party at that time, which has now been deregistered, the PCP, has the same colors with the PDP. So the PDP has the green and red. Your party too has a green and red. PCP sounds like PDP. So that was a natural explanation as to how at least you got over 100,000 votes, because there were candidates like the late Obadiah Lafia, Omoyele Sowore. There was a lot of other candidates that people will say, at least we know their names compared to you. So perhaps that's the explanation and not the political structure.
Yeah, but that's what people have been saying. But I challenge everyone to go and look at other candidates in my party. If this was a mistake by party name or party logo, that mistake should have replicated itself in all of our other candidates. But none happened. So if I'm the only person in the party who came third position, what happened to our other candidates who were on the same ballot paper? Why didn't the mistake replicate itself? So that's not the case. What some of us did, we went from street to street.
Right.
We canvassed people. Now, in as much as I like to take credit for being the third position, when you look at how many people voted, over 27 million people, and you compare it to 110, I don't think that's something to be even be jubilating about, because the gap is quite much.
So now you're in the APC.
Yes.
When did you join?
Last year.
Last year?
Yes.
Oh, not this year?
Not officially, but it was just, I had an issue with my party as soon as the election was over. So they expelled me from the party because I refused to go with the coalition. So as of then, I already knew I wasn't coming back, even before it was deregistered. So we had to look for where to go pitch our tent.
But officially, you just joined the APC this year?
Yes.
This year?
Yes.
So talk to us about, because you're in the APC, when you were campaigning then, you had, very strong words for the opposition party, or rather the party in power at that time, the APC. But now you are in the APC with people you had hitherto condemned in previous interviews you have granted. Do you still think the Buhari government is a failure?
There's much the Buhari government should have done. That
no, do you still think the Buhari government is a failure?
It depends on the area you're looking at it. In security-wise, they haven't done much. So the nation is not safe. Yes, I'm a part of the APC. It doesn't mean everything has changed now. The nation is still not safe. There's much to be done, and that's one of the reasons we joined them, because if something is not working well, instead of complaining, I think you can join to fix it.
To fix it.
That's why we joined the APC.
There's this tweet you put out on March the 30th saying President Buhari should go beyond the routine emergency security meetings whenever tragedy strikes and be proactive. You went on to say the first responsibility of every serious government is protection of lives and property. It's not out of place to say this government has failed.
In terms of security, this administration should have done more.
Has failed. That was your word here.
Yes. This administration, there's no doubt. I'm not going to stand here and paint that the nation is safe. Killings are still taking place. I think those who surround the president, there's a lot they need to do in letting the president know what's going on in the nation, and the nation needs security. The nation is not safe.
So you stand by that tweet?
Like I said, that's why we're here. That's why we joined the APC, to fix what is wrong in the party. And that's why we're here. We're coming with something totally different. We're coming with something to reform the party. And gladly, they know this, and they accepted us and accepted me with open hands. And the reception has been overwhelming.
Are you still against older candidates running for president in terms that you said they should retire and all of that? Are you still against that?
Oh, yes, I'm against older people running for president.
But you congratulated Joe Biden. You put out a tweet when he was president, said, congratulations, Joe Biden, 77 years old. Or isn't that old enough for you?
No, I mean, you look at the American system. The system is working. They have a system that, even if you take the worst man and put in that system, he's not going to fail. So the system is working, even though he's old. He's been in the system since the 80s. So if the system is working, you have no choice but to congratulate him. And compared with the opposition then, it was a better choice for us.
So that's like double standard for you now?
No, not necessarily double standard. Okay, let's look at the Nigeria system. President Muhammadu Buhari was president, I think, in 1981. You look at when Obasanjo was there, you look at all our leaders. These guys, when they were young and were in power, Nigeria was working. The Nigerians of the 1980s, you can't be compared to the Nigeria we have now. So when we had younger leaders, when they were in office in their 20s, in their 30s, Nigeria was good. Now that all of them are old, Nigeria is nothing to write home about. So when it comes to the system, we need to inject young people into the system to bring Nigeria back to what it was, even greater.
So let's maybe anchor on this point. I mean, we have challenges that are clear. Let's talk about the economy, because that's an area a lot of Nigerians, feel very much. Do you, and let me just start, do you know the inflation rate in the country right now?
It's quite high. I don't know the exact percentage, but it's quite high.
Unemployment rate?
I checked, I saw 45, between 33 to 45%.
What about the poverty rate?
The poverty rate is pretty high.
Pretty high.
Pretty high.
At what figure?
I don't know the exact percentage, but it's pretty high. But I know I checked the unemployment rate.
So
yes.
what do you plan to bring it to? Because I ask if you know, because at least if you don't know where we are right now, it's hard to tell where we want to be. So what do you plan to bring it down to as we wind down now?
Okay, now it's hard for me to talk about the economy if I don't address the issue of security, because you cannot grow an economy when you have insecurity in a nation.
Right.
Now, I'm just going to dive on the. We have to fix the security problem so we can talk about the economy. These are some of the few things we must do. Number one, the other day the president said there are no more space on the federal level, and everybody was mad. It's actually true. The federal government cannot employ people, neither the state can employ people or local government. Who are the ones that create employment in the nation? They are the private sectors.
Right.
It is the job of the government to empower the private sector. How do we do that? We invite foreign investors. Now, no foreign investor is coming to Nigeria because the country is not safe. I'll just give this perfect example. If you get $1 million right now, will you go to Kano or Sokoto to plant a factory? I'm sure the answer is no, because you know exactly the day riot is going to break out, all your investment is going to go down the drain. So when the nation is fixed, we have to start inviting foreign investors. Apart from just foreign investors, are you aware that we have rich Nigerians who take their money abroad all the time? We need to create an incentive whereby we invite them to bring their money back to our nation to invest. Let me just quickly say this. I know we're out of time.
We're totally, if you could do that in 10 seconds.
I have a policy where when I become president, I'm going to give a 12-month pardon to every Nigerian to bring your money back to the country. We'll put a percentage rate between 10 to 25%,
right,
depending on the amount. We don't care how you got the money. We don't care where you stored the money. Just bring the money back to the economy.
You don't care where they got the money from?
It's called pardon. Yes, you hear it out from me.
Well,
because
let's
if
these
nations are taking our money from our leaders and storing them in their country, I think we can do the same and have them bring the money back.
Well, we have to anchor at this point, but I'd like to thank you so much, Dr. Nicholas Felix, who is an aspirant on the platform of the APC. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for having me.
Well, that's been